Hi, this is Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and this is Wednesday, July the 24th. Um, I'm going to do a follow-up to yesterday's video. I had some questions about it, so I felt like it'd be easier to show on a video, and I did have several different people that were asking similar type questions, and so I thought I would use today just to go back and review that trade again and explain to you, why I took a long down here. Um, I got several people that asked me why wasn't I thinking shorts here, and let me explain to you why I was not thinking shorts here. Um, this went on to be a very strong downtrend day. As you can see, this trend continued on down, but at the time I took this trade, it was actually right in here, and my bars look different today. And that's another question. Let me answer real quickly. Um, People all the time ask me, they say I can't make my bars look like yours. I've got a 2000 tick chart and I'm using CQG for my data provider as well, but I can't make my chart look like yours. And with tick charts, that's one of the things about them, the way the ticks are counted and figured, and depending on where you start, and really what a tick bar is it's counting a certain number of ticks before it creates essentially before it creates the next bar. So if you're using a 2000 tick bar, every time the software counts 2000 ticks, it creates a new bar. And so there's no way you can make two tick charts look exactly alike. Sometimes they'll get really close, but if you refresh, even if I refresh my chart, my tick bars will likely change. And so there's just no way to make them look exactly the same, so don't even try. As long as the patterns are similar, that's all that matters. Now here is where I entered this trade, right in here. and as you can see, the it's different because the way I entered yesterday, these two bars were together, and this was a long doji that closed right down here with a high down here. So I was able to get in right here at this point and ride this back to here. So clarify that first. And so the bars are not going to look the same today as the pattern did yesterday. So just overlook that. But let me explain to you. The question I got from several different people is, why were you thinking long down here? Shouldn't you have been thinking short? And as you can see, you shouldn't have been thinking short till over here, till we had this failed break above this double top over here. And really, by the time prices were like this is the way my bar was originally. And let me show you this. This was strong support all yesterday afternoon. It was the low of the overnight. We bounced again there, right there. So that is very strong support. And there's no real trend above that. This is all a trading range. So at the time I entered this trade, this was more of a trading range than it was a trend. Now, it went on to be a strong trend day, but you got to look at what you got. This is all we would have seen. This is all I would have seen at that point, was right before I entered the trade. That's what you would have seen. And you got one leg down and you got another measured leg down right here. But you got this strong support all the way across there. Hopefully you can see that. And until that consistently becomes resistance, or until you get some kind of other pattern, you're not looking for a short. And you see it never really acted as resistance right in there, but we ended up getting a short off of this right here. So now that we got into there, our line should have been moved back up to here, maybe even right there. That's where I would have my line now. Actually, I might even have it. No, you get more touches on both sides right there, and you can kind of see that down here. That's kind of what I call a thin point. Your trades are open and closing on either side of that line for the most part. So by the time after I entered this trade, by the time this pattern formed, that's where I would have this line right here. I would have moved it up to right about there. And so let me show you what I was looking at. This looks more like a trading range, so I'm thinking trading range day at this point. And the idea with a trading range day is to fade every new low and sell every new high. And so that was why I was thinking buy here and wasn't thinking short because of the trend. Yeah, we do have a short-term trend, but we had a trend line down here too, and then went into this trading range. So I was looking at this more as a trading range day, which was what it was at the point. And anytime you get a break below a strong support area like that, you're almost always going to get a bounce. So I was looking for that bounce. And I was hoping maybe we might catch the low of the day and we might make another leg up. That did not happen, but that's why we used runners, and that's why I took my, I think I ended up making 2 points off my runners. I actually bounced off my order at 3 points, but we never could get filled, so then I went ahead and moved up my stop and took a 2 points off my runners. So it was about $1,100 trade is what it turned out to be based on the size I went in with. But let me explain to you some more about the main, and that's the main reason that we were looking for this long, because this was a trading range, and this is a failed break out of a trading range, and the lows were down here, like so, and you can see them all the way across there. And actually, it was probably more like that right there. I think that's where I originally had it. Yep. And so when we kept this little, all this overlap way away from the EMA, and we ticked one tick lower and then reversed, I felt pretty confident we were coming back to at least test the EMA, and probably coming back to test this breakout area right along here. And another reason I took this trade was just to demonstrate how I've been doing a few videos and doing a few articles on trying to find out where the resting buy stops will be located. And that was going to be right below this strong support right here, a point or two. And you can see there, the most we could get below that was a point or two, and it bounced. Look, it bounced once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, and it wasn't able to go lower until they finally trapped all these people above this little double top right here. And so that's when you were looking to get short, is way up here, not down here. You're not looking to get short in here, no way, because you're at lows, and that's what happens to traders. They get trapped on the wrong side. They're selling low. You need to be selling way up here and all along up here. Now, you could have sold this pullback. I wouldn't have sold this one. You could have sold this one because this was a second entry, and you could have sold this one, and this one would have put you in and probably kept your runners and rode this all the way back down. So yes, you could take shorts up here, and you were probably still looking for shorts up here. But when we were down here, we were looking for nothing but longs. We definitely weren't looking to go long down here, or short down here. And you can see what would have happened if you got short anywhere across there. You got burned. And of course, if you held on, it would have worked out. But you don't know that this reversal here is not going to come back up here and test these highs again. So that's why we were not looking for shorts down here. So hopefully that answers the questions for a couple of people that said, why weren't you looking for shorts? But it seemed like one of them asked me about, shouldn't you wait for the pullbacks? Well, yes, you're looking for shorts on these pullbacks if the setup is there. But when we came down here, because I know that there's a ton of buy orders, resting buy orders below all this strong support here, I know the odds are on my side to buy down here, especially when you're this far away from the EMA. There's going to be a pullback. And so we were just looking to capitalize off a short term. We weren't looking for to make a big move out of this. We were looking to get our scalp, and if we got lucky, we catch a bottom and we hold a runner or two. That's why I scalped out of 90% of the contracts on that big trade, because I didn't know that prices weren't going to go lower, and they did go lower. You just don't know at this point. You got to wait and continue to follow the price action. But what we ended up doing was going into a trading range that looked something like that right there, and you might have even drawn it like that right there. So now you got a trading range right here. So you could sell anytime we got up here, as long as there's enough room to scalp out. And you can, and when we broke higher right here, you got the same theory as we had down here in reverse. You got a lot of resting sell orders above these highs right across here. And look what happened when we broke up there. All those sell orders were triggered, and look at the massive sell-off right there. So that was the key place to get short. Now, you could have got short right here as well, and I believe I did end up taking that short right there after the first trade. And of course, you're expecting that it may bounce again when you get back down here, but you don't know that the trend. Plus, you actually had a little short-term trend line coming down through here that probably looks something like that right there. So you got to break a new low, and then, but this turned out to be an extended correction that lasted 9:40 to 10:30 or so. So this is just a little two-legged correction. This is one leg, pull back, and then a little two-legged thing in there, and then another leg up. So there's your one leg up, and there's a second leg up. And so that's a two-legged correction in there. And then you probably, let's just see how close this leg was. I'm guessing we probably got a measured leg. Yeah, there's leg one, and there's leg two. And you can see we overshot that a little bit before it corrected in here. And then we tried to make another leg down, and we did end up coming down to about right there. But that's a two-legged move right there, and then we went into another trading range. But hopefully you can see that. There, you don't want to be thinking short down here at these lows, and you can see how flat kind of the EMA got. That just shows you that you're in a trading range and the market's not really trending at that point. And so the only way you want to enter once you get into this trading range, you either want to buy the lows or sell the highs, and obviously you wouldn't have bought this one because you had the failed break out the high side, so you expect that if it is going to move on, it's going to move on in the direction that we traded into it, which was down right here, as you can see. So hopefully that makes sense to you. We just really were not, at that point, that's what we were looking at when I was buying down there, was that right there. That's all I could see. As you can see, there's two legs. There's one leg right here, and then this is a leg. And it looks more like a trading range with your highs maybe, at the very least they were up here, but they were probably more along right in there. And this is just a failed break out right here. But you were looking at a trading range that looked, like that right there. And that does not look like, if you're looking at that, that doesn't look like a trend because we couldn't see all that out there. We're only seeing this right here. So I was treating this as a trading range at the point, and this is a failed break below a trading range, and you can see what happened. It bounced right back up into the range, and it tried to go higher again, but it couldn't. It went on down, made a new low, and it kept just bouncing around. And so you could have shorted definitely this one, probably this one, but when it didn't go any lower again right here, you definitely, you definitely was getting questionable shorting again right here. I think either one of those probably would have worked. But this was the really good one because it's the break above the high side of this smaller trading range now, and then prices failed and sold on off. And so you could have gone long again right here as well. It was really getting kind of risky going long again because now we've cleaned, we've moved through a lot of these buy stops. But as you can see, it still worked. And so I was not the only one that spotted this area, and I was right spotting it, knowing that there were resting orders down here, because look how much effort it took to get through there. It took from 9:30 to 10:30. So it took, really, this is actually from just a little after 9 o'clock. So it took an hour and a half to work through all those resting buy orders before they finally got it to go lower. And my guess is once we had this failed breakout, people just started removing a lot of orders out of here as well, and that's why it quickly sold on off. But you can see that there were people that there were resting buy orders down here again below this little double bottom. That's why it stalls in here, because there's a lot of buying going on. People are trying to buy, people are looking for bottoms, and it wasn't near as good a trade then, so I wouldn't recommend buying or selling either one in there. Maybe selling when you got over here to the EMA, but certainly not buying right in there. But the reason we were interested in buying here was because of all this strong support that was coming across these lows right across there. And you can see that all of the day before, during the overnight, and then we bounced right there the first time. So this was very strong support. And so we know there's a lot of resting buy orders down there, and that's what we were capitalizing on. So hopefully that makes sense to you. If it doesn't, drop me a note, and I'll try to explain more to you about it. This is our trading day today, and again, it's just, this is kind of a trading range day. And you see, here's our lows, here's our highs, and we've stayed within that basically all day. Could we go higher? Yes, we got an hour and 15 minutes left in the trading day, so we very well could go higher from here. But this is definitely strong resistance across here, and you got support across this area right here. And again, this is not far from where we were at yesterday, as you can see that. And that acted as resistance when we came back there yesterday afternoon, and it's kind of acted as resistance across there today. We've gotten a little bit higher, but that's what happens. You work just, they'll keep pushing until they push it through there, but there'll be those resting orders that where people are watching the strong support and resistance, and it does look like we may go lower here. I guess this is going to end up as a trading range day, but we'll just have to see. We'll have to follow the price action and see. But again, this was just a trading range, turned out to be about an hour to hour and a half long trading range during the day once prices broke below the strong support area, and it turned out to be resistance, but they tested it multiple times and finally trapped everybody before they took it lower. And they tested this support area 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times across there. You can see that. Before they finally got it through there. And then even once it did go through, it still stalled for from 10:30, 10 or 20 minutes, something like that. But there was a lot of action right in there. About a 20 minute, because from about 10:30, just before 10:30 to just around 11 o'clock, so close to 30 minutes, it stayed stuck in that little range. And then this is just a repeat pattern, kind of this right here, just on a smaller, you made a double top, it broke above it right at the EMA, and boom, it was off to the races again. So hopefully that makes sense to you. I'm going to wrap it up. This will serve as our chart lesson for today as well. This is Matt with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and we'll see you next time.